What's going on, guys? It's Omniarch, and today I'm bringing you a brand new video where we're going to be talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout, if it's good, what my first impressions are, and if it can kill Fortnite.
Yeah. Die line with the boom pow. Every week now I switch to a new style. 212s in the back just blew out.
Now, I wanted to play a few hours of this beta before I made it a video, so I made sure that I did that. I know that there's been a couple of people, probably tons of people, who have uploaded a video similar to this one already, but I really wanted to make sure I got enough playtime in so that way I can really say that I know what I'm talking about. So in this video, I'm going to go over the pros and the cons of the Blackout beta. The first thing that I want to mention is that I'm going to be talking about the beta of Blackout. Obviously, we don't have the full game yet, so what I say in this video may not apply to the full game, although the beta is a pretty decently large chunk of the Blackout already finished, so we kind of have an idea of what it's going to look like on launch day. The second thing I'm going to be doing in this video is comparing it to Fortnite, and while some people may disagree with that because they, might say, oh, this is a first-person game, this is Call of Duty, it's completely different. In reality, this is Call of Duty's attempt at battle royale, and the only reason that it's attempting battle royale is because of Fortnite, also PUBG, but mostly Fortnite is the dominant battle royale game, and that's what Call of Duty is coming after, and it's only fair that I compare it to the top dog in the industry. And with that being said, let's start with the pros, right? Let's talk about what Blackout does right, because I think there's a lot of potential here, and I think there's a lot of things that it surprised me with. The first thing is that the game actually runs surprisingly smooth for a beta, and the servers handled the stress really well. From what I could tell, a lot of people jumped on at the exact same time. There was hardly any server issues. A couple times I got kicked out of games randomly for random errors and stuff like that, and of course there are bugs because it is a beta, but as far as a beta goes, it's pretty smooth, especially because this is Call of Duty's first time making a battle royale game, and it ran a lot better than I thought. This second thing I want to talk about is how good the kills feel, and I think that's an important part of any battle royale. Like, when you get a kill, you want it to feel good. You don't want it to feel like random or panicky or whatever, and the kills in this game feel like Call of Duty kills. They don't really feel like Fortnite kills. It's like when you're playing Call of Duty and you kind of melt somebody, it feels good, and that's kind of what they've been able to bring to Blackout, which is interesting because obviously they've tried their best to mold together battle royale and Call of Duty into one thing, and I think they did a pretty good job with it. Another thing that I want to commend them on is the way that you drop into the map. Now, this is a huge thing that I hated with Fortnite, because you have to drop so far away from where you want to land just to land there first, that you really have to like time it right, and it's just super annoying. And in Blackout, you just jump as close to where you want to go as you can, and then you basically just nosedive, and it shows you how fast you're moving on the screen, and then you just glide right into where you want to go, and I think that's way better. Now, of course, there's tons of issues with the dive mechanic in this game. In the beta, at least, the way that you move in your wingsuit is very like clunky and slow, and there's definitely some glitches going on there, so it's definitely not perfect. There's also times where before dropping, I'm like running in midair. Like, it's definitely a little bit glitchy, but I think it's it's obviously it's the foundation of what it's going to be when it's launching, and I think it's definitely better than other battle royale games, specifically Fortnite. Another thing that I really liked was that they reused old maps, and we knew this going in, right? Like, we knew that they were going to be using old maps to make the giant Blackout map, but it just was put together really well. And I think some of the pieces of the map are pretty ugly and barren, but there are really awesome places on the map. Like, playing on Asylum, dropping Asylum is really cool. Firing range, just seeing some of these old Call of Duty maps from the Black Ops franchise all come together, it's really like a nostalgia trip, and I think that's what they were going for, because it just kind of makes you feel good. Plus, players are familiar with the map a little bit when they first jump in, which is really cool, because one of the things with new games like Fortnite and PUBG is newer players have to learn the whole map, whereas older players know everything, where all the chests could be and everything like that. So with this, it kind of it kind of eases Call of Duty players into battle royale by saying, hey, look, all of these maps already, so just drop where you want to go, and you'll at least kind of be able to figure it out from there, which was really cool. And with that being said, those are the biggest pros that I have for Blackout. Also, the game is pretty fun. Obviously, I played with a quad, I played with some duos, I played solo a bunch of times. The game is pretty fun, and that's good, but I want to move on to the cons now. The most frustrating thing about Blackout for me is the inability to get a gun when you drop, and this is something that you definitely take for granted in games like Fortnite, but in this game, you know, there have been dozens of times where I die immediately because I drop and all I find are gun attachments, armor, bullets. Like, there's all sorts of stuff that you can pick up, med kits and bandages and everything like that, and there's no guns anywhere. And sometimes, you know, you walk into a room and there's 3 different guns, all of them are viable, and then other times you drop and you search like a 3-story parking garage and there's not a single gun anywhere. You're running around for 5 minutes and you haven't found a single gun, and that's unacceptable. I mean, it makes the gameplay impossible. You can't play it, you really can't play it, and it's really bad. And what that does is it makes it just RNG based. That's entirely what it is. Like, if you drop and there's not a gun, tough luck. There might not be a gun in half of the place that you've been dropped, and you have to move on to a different place, and running from here to there is too far. You will die. So they have to fix that. They have to increase the amount, the gun drop rate or something. I'm not sure, but this is a huge problem. I've had other people tell me this as well. Sometimes you just drop, and it's not just sometimes, it's often. There's oftentimes you will drop and there will be no gun, and that's just, in a battle royale game, like, that's like saying, hey, thanks for starting up a game in the lobby, but you're gonna be one of the people to die first, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, it's not fun. The next thing I want to talk about is the mid game. Now, if you're not familiar with battle royale games or MOBAs or anything like that, longer game types where you're playing a single match for 20 minutes or more, it's kind of divided up into early game, mid game, and late game. And this is true for pretty much every battle royale. The dropping and not having a weapon, that is a problem with the early game, right? When you first drop, you can't get a weapon. That's frustrating, and it's really bad. The problem I'm going to talk about now is with mid game, and that is that mid game is boring. There's nothing to do. I mean, there's no building, there's no harvesting of materials, and with a huge map and only 80 players, by the time you're in mid game, you're just running away from the storm, and there's only 30 people on the map, but there's still 40% of the map is still wide open. So it's like the odds of you running into somebody are super low, and there's nothing to do while you're running away from the storm. You're not getting materials, you're not doing anything, so you're just running for like literally 5 minutes. Like, you're just running, and that's boring. It's really boring. And I noticed that like 4 games in, I was like, wow, this is like the 4th game in a row where I've just been running, doing nothing. And like, I don't know, it's just really bad. It was like really bad. I noticed it pretty soon after booting up the beta. One thing I will say is that vehicles do help with this. Obviously, if you jump on an ATV, you can get from point A to point B a lot quicker, and that obviously helps because you're not just running for a long time. But a lot of times you're somewhere where there's just not a vehicle. There's no vehicles, or somebody else took it and there was only one, and that's it, and now you're just running. So I will acknowledge that vehicles do address that problem, but I think there either needs to be more vehicles or something else needs to be done, because, you know, I get bored just running for 5 minutes, you know, and that's not an exaggeration either. Like, full 5 minutes. Just sit there in silence for 5 minutes. It feels like forever, and that's really what you're just running. So anyway, another thing I want to talk about is time to kill. Now, some games time to kill feels good, other games it feels atrocious. And I've figured out that it's because of multiple things. First off, body armor. My god, body armor. A level 1, so first off, there's 3 tiers of body armor, level 1, 2, and 3. A level 1 body armor reduces bullet damage by 40%. You take 40% less damage by just getting the basic common body armor. That, on top of the fact that you can get a trauma kit, which boosts your health by 50. That's literally a 33% boost in health. It just makes the time to kill way too different from a base level 150 health person to a person with level 2 body armor and trauma kit. You're shooting them for, you know, a good 10 seconds, whereas the other guy, you can just melt him in 1. So it's like, it feels very weird, and you're not sure if you're unloading too much ammo or not enough ammo. And sometimes you think, oh, I can definitely kill this guy because I already put 3 bullets into him, so he must be close to dead. And then you jump around the corner and you get melted for some reason, and it just seems ridiculous that even though you like pre-fired, hip-fired, everything, you can't do anything about it, and you got the first shot off, you still died because, oh, he had level 3 armor plus the trauma kit, and there's no way to really know. I mean, like, when you're shooting, you know that they have armor, but you don't know what level armor that they have. As much as I know, you can't tell the difference, and it feels way too, like, it's not consistent. There's no consistency in that time to kill, and it makes it really difficult to gauge whether or not you should enter a gunfight or not. And most of the times, you know, I don't want to, because I don't want to die, and that just leads to, you know, back to the previous con of boring mid game. It's like, oh, I'm not even going to engage with him because I don't know what level body armor he has. You know, I've dinged him a couple of times, but shit, that means nothing in this game, so who knows? Like, I'm not even gonna bother. I'll just run away. And yeah, I don't know. And the other thing with time to kill is when you get downed, that's it, you're dead. Like, in other games, you know, if you get downed, there's an incentive to kind of, like, you know, don't kill the down guy because there's other people shooting at you. But in this game, you can kill the down guy so quick that you just, it's like 2-3 bullets, like, boom, dead. So, like, it's almost not even a mechanic that you get to use, right? Like, if your teammate's down, it's almost not even worth going to get him because he dies instantly. There's almost no instances, in fact, that I've been playing where I've been playing duos or squads where a teammate gets down and I can help them. There was like one instance, but like, when you get down, it's just so easy to melt the guy who's crawling that you just do it because it costs you nothing. Like, it's so fast and so easy. It's like, boom, wow, kill him. Just why not, right? So yeah, that mechanic needs to be fixed because there's no point in having that mechanic if you're never gonna survive being downed, right? So I don't know, that just felt really weird to me. Like, I kept playing, like, if I'm in quads, you know, after first drop, it was like 2 people were eliminated right off the bat, even if we were all in the same building, because when somebody gets down, you can just quickly end their life regardless. So that definitely needs to be fixed because it's really frustrating when now those other 2 people who died have to watch me play for 20 more minutes while I run doing nothing in mid game. Another thing that actually David Vonderhaar has been addressing a lot on Twitter is the loot system and how you pick up loot, specifically by holding square. And, you know, people were saying, let's change it from hold square to just press square. That way it's easier to pick things up. And I don't agree with that. I don't think that should be the way to do it because, you know, imagine you're firing and you go to reload, but you accidentally sidestepped over an item that you don't want to pick up, and now you just picked up a weapon instead of reloading. That would be annoying. So I agree with holding to loot. But another thing that people mentioned was, okay, well, I don't want to have to hold to pick up ammo. It's just ammo. Of course I'm going to want to pick up the ammo. And to that, David Vonderhaar said we tried that, meaning that before they launched the beta, they tried just, you know, letting you pick up ammo by walking over it. And he said it wasn't fun because everybody was just walking around with max ammo. And that I disagree with. I hate having to press and hold to pick up ammo. It's ridiculous. If anything, make ammo something that you can pick up by just pressing square, because at least then it won't switch your weapon, it won't do anything like that. But really, it should be just something you walk over. And if the problem is that everyone's walking around with max ammo, then just decrease the amount of ammo that you get per thing that you walk over, like per packet of ammo. Make there just be less in each. That way when you walk over it, you know, you don't have max ammo in 2 minutes. And I get that you wouldn't want all the players to have max ammo. I understand that, but having to hold down square to pick up ammo is infuriating. Like, all I'm doing early game is just hold down square, hold down square, hold down square, hold down square, move to the next building, hold down square, hold down square. It's just super tedious and annoying. And it's like, for ammo, like, at least for ammo, just let me pick it all up, just run over it. Like, save me that time, save me that hassle. It'll make the gameplay a little bit faster, and it'll just be more fun and remove that tedious little chore that you're making everyone do. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the user interface and the quick menu and all that stuff. Now, again, David Vonderhaar addressed on Twitter. He said that the quick menu will be getting some updates, specifically that it will automatically go away if you don't interact with it for 5 seconds. That's a good feature. I agree that that should be implemented, and, you know, kudos to them for addressing that before we even talked about it. But even still, I do have a problem with the user interface in multiple ways. Like, obviously the quick menu is good. If they didn't have that, it would be atrocious. But besides that, having to press start and then having to navigate that grid of everything, I don't know, it doesn't feel right, because then you can go and take an attachment off something and then you have to attach it back, but you know, you might want to drop it sometimes. I don't know, it just wasn't very intuitive for a console. But the biggest problem is the backpacks that players drop when they die. Running over to a backpack, holding square, and then you have to cycle through everything that they have with the D-pad instead of it just like pulling up like a 3x3 grid or a 4x4 grid. Like that would have been way quicker, because then you can quickly like flick over to the things that you want, press square, grab those, and then exit that little menu, instead of having to like press over past all the shit that you don't want to get to the ammo or whatever the case might be, right? It was just really annoying. Plus sometimes like I was having issues with that mechanic where I'm trying to scroll through and it won't scroll past the thing that I'm on. That's probably just a bug that they'll fix, obviously, but you know, it just was not console friendly. The quick menu obviously will be good on PC because you can just hotkey things to that quick menu or quick bar or whatever you want to call it, so that's fine. But I don't know, I just feel like the user interface is pretty clunky, definitely something that you would see in a beta, so hopefully they fix that for the official release. And the last thing I want to talk about is actually hitting your shots, and this is interesting because I was wondering when they announced Call of Duty was doing a Blackout Battle Royale, I was like, is it gonna be hit scan? Is it gonna be just like multiplayer? And I want to say it is, but there's definitely instances where my crosshairs are right on a target and it's missing every single shot. And you know, yeah, they're at a distance, but like my crosshairs are dead on. So I'm not really sure. So I wanted to ask you guys, like, first off, if it is hit scan, then they need to fix the hitboxes, because there are definitely times where I'm missing shots that I absolutely should not be missing. If it's not hit scan, that's interesting because it's a Call of Duty game and it feels kind of like there is hit scan. So I'd like your input on that in the comment section below. If you guys know if it's hit scan or not, like confirmed, link your sources, I'd like to see. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So I just want to bring you this quick video talking about my first impressions of Blackout, kind of comparing it to Fortnite. And the final verdict is, will this kill Fortnite? In its current state, absolutely not. It won't come even close. Fortnite will see zero reduction in player base. For many reasons. One, for all the cons that I just listed, it's like ridiculous. Most of those things are not issues with Fortnite. Fortnite has its own issues, of course, but none of those are problems in Fortnite. Also, Fortnite's free, and this game's $60, so bam, right there, like, there you go. So yeah. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comment section below if you've played the Blackout beta, what you think of it, and drop a thumbs up on the video to let me know that you enjoyed it or you found it useful or entertaining or whatever the case is. Subscribe and click that bell so you know the next time that I upload, and that's about it, guys. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Omniarch. I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace.
Yeah, I was gone for a minute, I was country hopping, Paris to the UK, yeah, we get it poppin'. Everywhere I go, know that I got many options, and I never stop till they put me in the coffin. Back to the beast, I've been getting on. They've been busy trying to catch me, I'm already gone. Anything I drop is your favorite song. Your girl asking about my scent, that's the Saint Laurent.